folks. Welcome back to the Mind Your Miles podcast. My name is Nick. I'm here with my boys, Will Baldwin and Daniel Mercado. Fellas, how are we doing tonight?
So good.
I'm great. Yeah.
I missed you guys so much.
It's been too long, as per usual. We can just blame that on me. It's automatically Nick's fault.
Always.
That we waited so long. You know, we had originally planned to do a book club review tonight, but two of these fellows have not done their homework yet, and they have not finished the book. So that will hopefully be next week.
The reading. The guy from that state has not finished the reading.
Yeah. So let's get on that. I'd like to do it. I finished the book months ago now. I've already finished 2 other books in the meantime. So
okay.
Let's get rolling here, boys. A lot of fun topics here we're going to talk about tonight, so very excited. Will wants to make an excuse for his not reading it. I don't even want to listen to it, so we're going to breeze by him.
I have some baby books I haven't read, and I'm about to have a kid in like a couple weeks. So
just sounds like excuses, man. Just sounds like
low
excuses.
On the priority list.
Well, we'll see what happens here the next week or so. So we will have a book review that we're very excited about sometime in the next 7 to 10 months. So excited to get to it. In the meantime, let's talk about some other coaching stuff here. So we've got a bunch of good topics here tonight. And I want to start with a topic that Will brought up in our very official pre-production meeting here. He wants to talk about easy days. So Will, why don't you lead us into this initial discussion?
You know, beginning the new year, we got new people in here. I feel like it's just always good to get a refresher on easy days and what we're focusing on. I think personally, as I've gotten more confident as a coach, I've been able to be even more honest with people about what's really important on easy days, of like being able to let go of pace. But I think what's always helpful when we do these is going over like how we actually did it. So I guess just kind of want to hear from you guys, like, you know, now and in your competitive careers, when you were going on easy days, what was the process like? What were you feeling? What were you thinking? Because I'm always blown away by how many of my athletes are like, oh, I noticed my heart rate was 2 beats higher on my easy day. And I'm like, I don't know. I've probably gone 5-year stretches without looking at my heart rate on an easy day. Like, it's so unimportant. I don't know how to get that across to you. Yeah, but Nick, you can start. You know, like, you know, now and back in the day when you were going on an easy day, like, what's the vibe? What's kind of what do you actually focus on thinking about?
Well, I mean, ideally, you're running with people. You're not focusing on or thinking about anything at all. You're just running easy and making stupid jokes and having conversations over the 45 to 90 whatever minutes that you're out there running.
Yeah.
More so recently, when I've been doing a lot more solo running, it's just really focused on the effort, just like I'm running easy.
Or lack thereof effort.
Correct. And it's just like wherever that falls within my normal range is like, some days it's like 8:30 pace, some days it's 6:30 pace. And honestly, it just really doesn't matter all that much. And so
it really doesn't.
With my own running, it's just like, okay, whatever feels easy. And some days slower feels easier. Some days I can run faster. It's really all over the place. It's just about the effort. And that's also what I communicate to my athletes. Like, some people are really, you know, honed in. VDOT, it gives you a range. Like, do I have to be in this range? I'm like, dog, I don't care if you are slower than the range, but I'd rather you not be faster than the range. That's kind of where I do put some limits on it. It's like, hey, if your easy pace is 8 to 9 minutes, like, I don't want to see a ton of days where you're running 7:30 pace on your easy days. That's most likely unnecessary. Let's just keep it on the lower end of the range and monitor your effort, and you're going to be okay. Danny, what do you think?
I will say on VDOT, that's one of the shortcomings, that like the easy day range can sometimes be wonky, especially as you get faster. It can be like too aggressive. But Dan, I had a question for you. Why do you think, like, we've all done a million easy runs together and no one's ever talked about the pace, really? Like, if somebody is running maybe too fast, I don't know, really. Yeah, we've never
I've heard Danny bitch about the pace before. So
yeah, maybe if somebody's going too fast or something, but normally, like, there isn't much discussion about it. Why do you think we, or elite runners, or just us in general, why do you think we were good at like not looking or noticing those things, but maybe some beginner runners, those numbers feel more impactful for them?
Well, as a person who was utilizing your coaching, however, was also doing it incorrectly because I ran all my easy runs too hard. I think that now I've put less of a focus on those are like the days I throw the kind of all the metrics out the window. And um, I think that especially when like a new person signs up for VDOT or anything like that, they're the first thing they're looking at are the metrics. They're looking at the ranges. They're looking at how they feel like they're supposed to be feeling, and then they're realizing they don't quite feel that way. So then all the thoughts like start to sort of flood in, and I feel like if we focus more, like you guys said, like on the social aspect where you're trying to run with somebody and you're just trying to have a conversation, you're just trying to enjoy like being outside and moving around. I feel like having a focus on that just takes like a bit of the pressure off. And I feel like more importantly, it separates the hard days from the not hard days. Like there is an entire intentionality with any coach that's like assigning easy days, that's assigning conversation pace. You know, for us, for my high school kids, conversation pace is like, I need you guys to run slow. Like you're not going to make up any workout or anything that happened in the workout before or any day that you missed. You're not going to make it up by running harder today. All you're going to do is screw up 2 days from now when I have something actually difficult for you to do. So,
And it's hard for people to remember that you can still get almost all of the benefits from running too slow without any of the risk. You know, like it's very easy in VDOT to have those cool instructional videos from Jack Daniels back in the day where he talks about like even at really low effort, you can still get to full stroke volume in the heart where you're pumping like its max volume of blood at like 60%, like really, really low. And most people are running 70-80%. And so even slowing way down, you can still get all the most of the aerobic benefits and the, you know, building that mitochondrial density. You can still do that without having to push the pace, and then we can push harder on the hard days. But yeah, I just kind of wanted to do a refresher on like letting people know it's okay to like let go and
you
not
should
feel
go
burdened by those metrics.
You should go slow. There's no reason for you to start overthinking like what an easy run's supposed to be. It's just easy. That's all it'll ever be. That's just time on your feet. Enjoy yourself. Like this is what running ought to be. And the days that are going to be hard, that are going to test you, those are on those days. They're not on easy days.
Amen.
Preach, brother, preach. All right. Go ahead, Will. Do you have something?
Oh yeah, I was gonna say if you got any closing thoughts, do we crush it?
I think we crushed it. I think we pretty much covered the bases. I mean, easy running is easy. It's exactly what it says it is, and don't make it anything that it's not. I think one thing I was thinking about when Danny was talking was that I think a lot of runners now have never run at a time when there wasn't like a significant like watch technology or something that was tracking you all the time. Like for particularly probably Danny and I, who are a little older than you, Will, it's like up until post college, I ran with a Timex watch. Like the only way to monitor your runs when you're out there running is by effort. It's like, oh, there was I wasn't getting splits. It was just like I'm running by effort solely. And so having that background is certainly helpful. And constantly, I've harped on this a million times in this podcast, like constantly like working with athletes to learn feel. And so just helping. Easy is the easiest one of these things to learn. And so just constantly drilling it. And people said that easy is easy. It's a feel. It's not a pace.
And I've said this before on the Timex piece. My watch, the default setting is just the stopwatch. So I have the GPS going in the background, but when I run, the screen is just counting seconds, you know, and I can get it to go look at the pace, but I almost never do. And that is like I mean, you don't want to go too fast. And so if you're a risk of doing that, you might need to have your pace up there. But when you can just let go and just be out there, enjoy the nature and learn to go slow, it's takes so much pressure off you, man, where you're not
That's
like,
the important part, though, is like the learning, like through maybe a little bit of trial and error, and that's what the easy days are for. It's like just determine through feel like what is actually easy for you, and some people are going to be like, well, I don't feel like I'm getting anything. It's like, well, just wait till 25 minutes into the run, dude. You're going to start to feel something. And
dude, but it's what the easy days is for, but that's like what every day is for. Like, I have some
just
athletes, it's like that's a real skill of like both on easy days and workouts, like being able to glance, look at the watch real quick and be like, okay, I
like
thought
a
I
monk.
was here. I'm faster or slower. Okay, let me adjust. Like, and then I tell people all the time, like, just because we've done this for a million years, probably most of the time I can get done with a run and be like, that was probably like 740 pace, and look and be like, yeah, or like in the middle, I'd be like, I bet we're around, we dropped down to 7 flat now, and I can look and it's like, yeah. And that you really want that as a runner, like, and you're constantly inputting that data of like, oh, I looked, I thought it was this. Oh no, actually it's a little bit faster, it's a little slower, and then which I just had the really opposite experience. I did a long run. It was like one of those ones, like from the gun, like we were kind of getting after it. And I was like, whoo, we must be going 630s. And we were going like 720s. And I'm just really out of shape. But I thought we were cooking.
Bad feeling. That's a bad feeling when that happens.
It's so bad.
Been on
Like, you get kind of done.
Yeah.
And I don't look at the watch during. I was like, ooh, it can be some nice numbers. And I look, I'm like, okay, all right, some work to do.
All right, well, let's leave the easy run here in the past, and let's move on to the next topic in our smorgasbord of topics here we have going on this evening. So, Will, go ahead.
Well,
you're gonna interrupt my intro, but thanks. Yeah, go for it, buddy.
I was just gonna help you with the transition. I was gonna practice a little bit of stand up.
Great, go ahead. All yours.
You guys know.
Oh,
you know that phrase, like, in one fell swoop.
Is this a Nate Bargatze joke here? Because I was just talking about this.
Does he have a joke about this? I just lost you. Hold on. What'd you say?
Right on your ear.
Yeah, you cut out.
Am I back?
Yeah.
You're on a different mic. Now you're on no mic.
So you should have interrupted him. This is what you get now.
I can't tell my joke now because...
Well, now he's not going to be there to talk a bunch of crap to you.
Sounds like I stole it.
All right, can you hear me?
Yeah. I'm really nervous. Did I not make this joke up?
I mean, no, it's Nate Bargatze has a joke. It's been out for like 5 years, but yeah, please go ahead.
No, what was it?
I don't remember the specifics, but it's about his wife not knowing how to use the phrase "one fell swoop."
Oh, I was just gonna make a joke like, are there any other types of swoops, or is it just fell?
Swoop is the name of the Eagles mascot, so there you go. We have additional types of swoops.
Okay. Well, you killed the flow of it. It didn't really.
I got a lot of work to do this offseason.
I'm going to go ahead and just edit this part out of the podcast so nobody has to hear whatever that last like 3 minutes of the pod was. That was horrific.
You had a freaking mic thing in the middle of it.
Yeah, but you're also about to tell a horrific joke, so.
No, it would have really been good.
All right, so moving on, let's get to our next topic here in our podcast. So, if you haven't turned it off yet, we appreciate you. Thanks for sticking with us here over that 2-minute piece of garbage. We're going to move on to my man Danny has a question about a workout he wants to assign his athletes. Danny, the floor is yours.
Okay, so a little background about myself. I was a 10K guy, became a half marathon guy, became kind of a marathon guy. I'm mostly a strength-based person, and I am still kind of learning about speed work, and coaches were always learning. We're always trying to be a little bit better and refine what we want to do. And I would say a particular weakness of mine has always been sort of like assigning pure speed stuff. And in terms of intensity, in terms of the length of the workouts and what we're trying to.
Why do you feel that? Just like not feeling confident and like.
Yeah, I think part of it is like a confidence piece. It's just like, okay, I'm trying to remember what I did in high school. And like, I was a person that did like 32 200s because we were just very old school. And
so when you say like fast stuff now, what kind of workouts are you talking about?
I'm talking about like anything from very fast quarters or 200s with a lot of rest to down to like fly 100s, fly 50s, and then just explaining to kids like, I
Like
need
speed
you to
development kind of stuff.
Yeah, I need you to run as hard as you can. I need you
Gotcha.
to dig into a well that
Yeah.
you didn't know was there. And I think with high schoolers, you were trying to explain it that way. I think with high schoolers, you were trying to explain it in terms of, I wouldn't say you're dumbing it down. I think it's just like you're trying to incorporate like the team aspect of things and like the competition aspect of things. It's like, look, if there's some dude with you with 100 to go, like, what are you going to do? Like, instead of explaining it from like a sort of like exercise scientist point of view. So I wanted to kind of go over this workout, and I don't know if I have an ability to share anything, but the workout is 4 sets of 300, 200, 200, 100 with full recovery in between. So anywhere between, and I'm having them just like walk for like 2.5 to 3 minutes back to like
Between
the start.
sets?
Between
every rep?
Yeah, between reps, and then they're gonna have
That's
a
a
400.
long workout.
Yeah, it's gonna be a long Saturday morning for them.
Yeah.
But 4 sets, and then the fourth set they would get into their spikes because we got a race in like 20 days. So I want them to start getting used to wearing spikes again for a little bit. But my fastest group, I'm gonna have them run like a 45. Like the paces assigned are about 45 seconds for these sets. For the 300, around 28 for the 200, and then like 100 meters in like 14 seconds.
Are these kids
I
fast?
don't know. Your eyes are getting really. I just want them to run hard.
Are these kids? Are they fast?
They can hit those paces. Yeah.
I mean, like, what types
433, 202. A few of them are in the low 440 ranges. And this is like I said, though, they don't touch this stuff very often. They're more like they run tempo work, they run fartlek stuff. So
I like the workout. If it was me, I'd probably only do 3 sets. 4 is long.
Okay.
I mean, especially because that stuff just has.
That's the thing is like it's as soon as they're like off the cliff, I'm kind of like, okay, is the 4 set even necessary if they're reaching kind of like the.
And necessary is like, especially when you get down with speed stuff, it's where like most injuries happen, especially if you overdo it. And it's like, it is always better to undercook them a little. Like, say you get through 3 and people don't look dead. It's like, that's good. Like you have a little something, but like you could easily do 4, but it's like, it's just where more things could happen. But especially with having 4 pieces in there, like that's like 12 reps of like really fast work, even if you did 3 sets.
Yeah.
And so I really like it. I just would probably, and especially with that big of rest, like, and how fast that is, that's like true R.
We're like 800. That's like almost 2 miles of like 800 pace work. I think it's about 800 meters per set. So if it's a pure like R session, I think the volume is probably fine. We used to do a similar workout in college. We called it the N workout. It was just sets of 3, 2, 1 with like a 200 jog after the 300 and a 100-meter walk after the 200, and then a full quarter jog after every set. And it was usually around like, it would start at like rep pace, 200 would get a little faster, 100 was like sub rep pace, sub mile race pace. So my first thing is, if it's a true like top end speed workout, I'd for sure either cut a full set out of it or cut one of the 200 reps.
I thought about that
in each set, and just doing 3, 2, 1, 3, 2, 1, 3, 2, 1, because then we're getting down to that's 600. So we're down to like 2,400 meters of total volume, which is probably a little more appropriate. Honestly, if we're looking like 800 speed, I'd probably still cut the 4 set. I think the volume is a little much, especially if we want to maintain quality. If the goal is to maintain quality throughout, and so to maintain quality, you would either have to like make the rests so long that they're going to be out there forever, or cut a set and just go less volume. And at that quality, I think less volume is totally fine.
Okay.
When I do stuff like that too, I would do 3 sets, and then I usually, to make that up, I usually do a longer warm up, just like, so you're getting in volume, and then people are really, just core temps up, like you're really looser. Or sometimes I would do like a baby threshold, like, we're gonna run it.
I was
I
gonna
thought
say,
sub
about
like,
100 at like, what we
even
would
like marathon pace. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's like the stuff that if I was going to do a really intense session, like, hey, we're going to do 800 or 1200 here at marathon pace, then do our drills and stuff and be like really, really warm and ready to go.
And I
Yeah.
stole that from probably Ron Warhurst, because Will Lear was talking to me about that. Like they would just start so many workouts with a 5-minute mile. And this is like Nick Willis and Will Lear. So a 5-minute mile is like probably marathon effort for them. But it was just like, yeah, we do our warm up and then a 5-minute mile. And that's just like, and then we start into speed, then we switch into.
We used to do that at Oregon for a bit. It wasn't like a mile or anything like that. It was just like an up tempo thing that was like, we used to call them brisk runs, but like an up tempo thing, just to like, hey, I always thought like a lot of stuff we did was like, now we are signaling to ourselves and to the body, like, it's time for a workout now. It's time to get put your game face on. Now we're about to go.
Hey, dude, I noticed so often during that part, I usually feel so bad. But then once I stop and then like you either switch into flats or just stop and drink some water, then like you said, that the signal to my body has been sent, and then I feel really good after like the little break in between the
and
whatever
it's really
that
like
is.
brace
What
prep.
was it? What'd you guys do at Oregon? Like how was the brisk run set up?
That stuff, it was like we would do our drills and everything, and then it was like either a quarter or like maybe 500 meters of just something to like wake up. But everybody does all the drills,
Like 5-minute pace or something, like or
yeah,
70 or something.
It wasn't anything like super crazy. It was like before, we would have like mile repeats, like one on the track and then alternating on the turf, like that's next to the track. We used to do that kind of thing, and for those things, like we did need that. And then pure speed stuff, I think I was always doing maybe like Ks and like K breakdowns, or a tempo in the morning and then like 6x300 in the afternoon, something like that.
Yeah.
But that was about the most speed like I had gone, because we were mostly 10K guys. I think I talked to Centrowitz once and he was like, dude, if I coached you, I'd have just made you do 200s like all the time. I would never have like put you on Ks. You wouldn't have done Ks like 10 by K. It's like, no, at most you do a tempo. He's like, but I would make you do 200s.
Why? I kind of agree with that logic sometimes, but I'm just curious on why.
He was like, you're already good at that. Like, you're already good at, the long run stuff we would do. Like, we would train up in Sun River and we would do mile repeats and stuff, or like tempo runs. And like Diego and I would lead a lot of that stuff. Or Ks and Priest Trail. Like, you needed us to run 252, 255. We were the guys. You need us to run any faster, you probably put Centro up on front. And he was like, you're already good aerobically. Like, strength guys, like you guys are strength guys. Pace, you can run 70s like all day. He's like, we need you to run 245. Like, that's for a K. You need to be able to do that. And he's like, you're already good at that. You need to work on your weaknesses, and your weakness is speed. Like, that's just
so funny. I don't think that about you, but I have so many marathon friends who, like, when people ask me like, oh, what would you do if you were coaching this guy? It's literally what I say every time. It's like, we would just do 200s twice a week. Like, it's a slower version of that. Of like, you see someone, it's like they have maxed out mileage and like just running 120s all the time, but like mechanically, and again, this is why this isn't you, because you're one of the prettiest runners I've ever seen, but like mechanically just like so not sharp and like no explosiveness. You're like, man, if you could like get some of that fast twitch and get their mechanics and like have a little bit of back kick in there and some knee lift, like, and combine that with their strength, they could be really good.
Well, not just that, it enhances all. I mean, all of a sudden you're just kind of unlocking a new baseline of paces. Like, I think all those guys can probably at Oregon right now could probably do like a 10 by K thing, and for them it's like 3 minutes. It's probably like the double threshold morning or whatever the hell they call it. But it's like they're already so much mechanically like better that 248 Ks or 246 Ks or any of that stuff. Like, for us, that was like, holy cow, like I'm kind of digging in a little bit here. And for them, it's probably like, heart rate was at 155, like whatever. And Centro was just like, and very simplistically, it was like, dude, I would put speed on you. Like, you need turnover. Like, you don't need much else. Like, you already have you know, it's like you said, it's like you're already maxed out, kind of like the aerobic part. And like I loved in Flagstaff, I love tempos and all that stuff. And it's just speed work at Flagstaff High School was like the bane of my existence. Like I couldn't stand it. But it is that simple. And because it's that simple, like with high schoolers, I always want to believe that workouts don't have to be really complicated. They just, hey, I need you to run really hard for like a little bit. Workout's not going to last long, maybe be a half hour, but you know, you're going to, you know, the way I describe strides for them is like, you're going to run is the way you described it. You're going to run as fast as you can without flailing. Like you need to be in control. You need to look like you're the fastest dude on the planet. And
You can copy and paste that if you need to.
I'm quoting you, my coach.
Get that bad boy up on Instagram. Let's get
I'm quoting my coach.
going.
You will run as fast as you can without flailing. Like you shouldn't start doing the skeleton dance. You shouldn't start swimming. Like none of that stuff. Like you need to be in control. And if you're not, then you got to slow down. You're not there yet.
But back to your workout, Danny. I like that, and I like going last set and spikes. It kind of gives you something to look forward to.
Yeah, I think they got excited about that a little bit. I don't think they got excited about the sets, but
it's not like crazy enough to like, I don't know, do anything too wild in spikes. You know, you can still rip a 300 and live to see another day.
We definitely have guys that can, and that's like a thing that I kind of get worried about is that I do have guys that can do hit those spaces, but then I also kind of question like, well, I've got like 3 or 4 of them that could, but I've got like 8 guys in that group. So it's like, is the other guy like, at what cost are those guys trying to run 45 seconds? Like, are they going to get through 3 sets? Or are they only going to get through 2? Like, I think there's like a balance that needs to be had there, and maybe I just have to split up the groups. But yeah, I mean, like I said, that's why I asked you guys. Is like, I think there are some pieces that I have down. I think that I need other eyes on these things so that I just know for a fact that like that I at least, you know, I'm a little more confident going into this.
Yeah, less is almost always more, especially with the young bucks.
Especially with the top end speed stuff too. I mean, if you anything sub in that 800 pace or faster, like yeah, less is certainly more. Like we're going for quality, not quantity there. So
yeah, I think that's the hardest part when you come from the strength side of like, you're thinking of like, well, how much could I do, or where would I get really tired? And like on the speed side, it's like you don't have to, and you don't want to get there, because if you've gotten there with like pure sprint stuff, for one, the injury risk is really high, but also just like the neuromuscular side is like really delayed and like stays there really long. And so, and it's weird because like sometimes you'll do that kind of workout and it's like, it's not that much volume. And so it's such a different type of fatigue, you know, it's not how we feel after 10 by K.
It's like after a hard lift. It's like if you go out and do, you know, 3 sets of 10 heavy squats, like, and that's kind of how you should feel like after like a really hard speed session like that. Like, yeah, like it feels more like a lift to me than it feels like a hard running workout. Very different type of fatigue from, you know, from doing 10 by K or whatever.
And dude, so much of speed is the skill. Like you'll hear people say this sometimes when they do sprint stuff. They're like, oh, like I couldn't even use my legs as fast as they're capable. But it's like your brain is doing that wiring. And so a lot of it is just like doing that. You're rewiring the neuromuscular system, and they're like, that's great. You know, we're not that tired, and we'll come back and we'll be able to do a little bit faster next time. But half of it is the skill part. It's not even all just like, how much did we use our muscles and how tired are we? And so that's like why the less is more is so true down there, because you're going to get that, and then you can come back and do it again. You got anything to add, Nick?
Thank you.
I don't. So let's transition to topic number 3 tonight. We're going to call this unique workouts, weird workouts. I threw out to the group here, like, throw me your weirdest workout that maybe doesn't totally make sense, but you love it. And either you do it yourself or you prescribe it for your athletes, or something you've maybe done in the past that you think is maybe not like it doesn't really fit necessarily into your coaching ideology or the way you approach training. So I'll go first and just go with mine since this is my dumb idea, and then you guys can go off of that. So I call that, maybe I've talked about it before, I call it the Marathon Michigan. So it's a 4 mile steady state. So 4 miles at like marathon-ish race pace, half mile jog, 1 mile at 10K pace, half mile jog, 2 miles at threshold or just faster than threshold, half mile jog, 800 at 5K pace or faster, cool down. That's the workout.
Can you say that again?
Could you pay attention, man? Yeah. So
yes. 4
right.
steady.
So it's 4 miles steady.
What's that, like slower than M or around marathon or
around just... We'll call it steady state pace is like M pace. It's around M pace. M pace maybe a touch faster.
And what is this? Where are you using this? Long run, like marathon long run?
Marathon long run, yeah. Or if you're like you're a heavy volume guy, it's a high volume Tuesday session. But for like a standard person, it would be like a marathon long run. So 4 miles steady, half mile jog. Are we good? We on board here?
Yeah.
1 mile at 10K pace.
Yeah.
Half mile jog. 2 miles at threshold or slightly faster.
That's hard.
It's a hard session. Half mile jog, 800, 5K pace or faster.
So you went 4 steady,
half
mile, then you
1
went
mile,
like pretty hard.
Yeah, 1 mile hard.
Then
so
you
like
went back up to a threshold, and then you went fast.
Yeah, so like when I did this work, when I would do this workout in Flagstaff, I did it a few times. It'd be 4 miles at like 5:15 to 5:20 pace, half mile easy. Then it would be a mile at like 4:45 pace, half mile easy, and then it would be 2 miles at 5:10 pace, half mile easy, and then 800 at this point I'm pretty cooked, so like 220 would be kind of where I would end up, maybe a touch faster. Then workout's over.
You did this. Is this a thing you might have done on Lake Mary?
I did it on Lake Mary Road, yes.
Okay.
That's cool, dude. I like that. I mean, that's a very hard sesh. I think that's one of those like where you really want to get people out of the pace. Cause like, especially going at like, you're probably gonna get cooked on one of those.
I mean, a lot of the marathon workouts.
The point of the workout is that like that last 800 has to be like hard. Like you're really working to run like 5K-ish pace. Like there's significant fatigue, and really it's just like, hey, we're moving different paces, but I want you to practice changing gears when you're fatigued for that 2 mile threshold, which is going to be hard, and that half mile at the end, which is also going to be hard. So.
I really like that. That sounds fun.
I do too. I like that over. Honestly, kind of like that over like the alternating miles workout that you guys have talked about before.
Oh yeah.
I don't know why. I just, for me, for whatever reason, you describing that the workout you just described, that is easier for me mentally to stomach than the alternating miles. I don't know why. I don't
know why either. The alternating miles always, it feels harder when I write it and looks and sounds harder than I think it actually is.
It shouldn't be that hard. I mean, I guess it depends.
I know, but it just looks daunting.
It depends on how honest you're keeping the off miles on that mile on, mile off session. I think if you're like lollygagging, it's an easy session. But if you're keeping those like at the faster end of e-pace, aerobic threshold, like then it's a hard session. But yeah, do either of you have anything?
Yeah, but I want to just Weir's made me think of one. I stole this, I think, from the Roots guys. But they do this. I give it out sometimes. It's probably like in my third quiver. But they used to do it what they call, or I call it a 4-1-1. They do like 4 miles at marathon, kind of tempo-ish, maybe a touch faster, and then 1 mile jog, and then 1 mile like try to rip it. And that's like a fun one because you get that tempo and then you get a little break from it. But it reminded me of that, but just a couple more parts to it. But that's a cool one, Nick. I've definitely got to steal that. I have one.
Way off, I should say. Just that's not a workout that a lot of people of mine get. Like I don't schedule that too frequently. Yeah.
I have a weird one that I was trying to think because you were like maybe doesn't fit perfectly or it's kind of weird. And sometimes I am my philosophy a little bit too much, but there's this one I've been doing a lot. I don't know if I ever gave it to you guys, but I call it my flush workout, and it's generally like 10 by 45 seconds at like threshold, little jog, and then 8 by 20 second strides. But like it's pretty easy. Like 10 by 45 second at threshold is not hard, right?
It's very easy. Yes, yeah.
But if someone is like super banged up, or we just did something really big, or maybe kind of a bridge workout, like we're going to something big, it's a little more than strides. We get some turnover. I usually sneak it into a little bit of a longer run. So maybe one of those days that would be like 10 or 12 miles or something. So you just get some good turnover. Your heart rate's high for like 10 or 20 minutes, but you are going to be completely fine. You could work out the next day. But I found it for myself, and I stole it from someone a long time ago, but so I just find that sometimes it makes you feel a little bit better than like that traditional 80 or 20 minute just straight easy day run. And it's just got stuff in it, so it's kind of fun. And if you're feeling awful, you're going to survive it. You can do it. But if you're feeling good, you might rip a little bit or get your strides going. And so, but yeah, like, if we're like traditionally, physiology, it's like, well, that's not enough time at threshold to elicit any like real response, or it's like, and it's not enough pure speed. It like, scientifically, it's maybe one of those things that doesn't make sense, but in the art of coaching, I find it gets people feeling good, and just like what I call it, like the flush, like it gets us feeling fresh and kind of ready to go in between stuff.
I think it makes tons of sense. I do something similar. I do it more like around I pace, like interval 5K, 10K pace. It's like if I'm in between two big long runs, like at the meat of a marathon cycle, then that'll be like the Tuesday session. Hey, 10 by 200, 10 by 45 seconds at 10K pace. Honestly, it's more about just turning over your legs when they're fatigued. Like there's really no other physiological response. Like, hey, we're going to open up, flush the legs out, and then turn them over when you're tired. That's really it. I love, especially with folks who are, who don't run 120 miles a week, like the fatigue from a long run, like that's going to hit a little harder. And so just something to just bridge us to the next like big workout, I think is great. So I love those sessions.
Yeah, I agree. I like to kind of do those types of like little bridge workouts going into a long run with like a tempo in it. So sometimes I do fast finish runs, or it's like they, I had an athlete who ran 16 miles like straight, and then going into that Wednesday, they'll have like 10 by 45 seconds or whatever. And then going into that next long run, it's like 16 miles, but there's like a 4 to 6 mile tempo in the middle of it. And I feel like the bridge workout like kind of gives them a little bit more of a push into their confidence level going into like those 16 mile like workout. And I like doing that a lot. It's just we're still working on turnover, and they actually might feel better like during the steady state because they did something a little bit faster. Just kind of wakes them up a little bit.
Honestly, there's like nothing better, I think, for 98% of athletes than just like a really easy workout that they're guaranteed to nail.
Literally what I was going to say, like getting a win is like so underrated. Like sometimes I look at some people's programming, I'm like, this is just too hard. Like
just going like this the whole time, and you're just like, there's gonna be a ceiling somewhere. Like it's just gonna be, and like you said, it was like the art of it is like you're just trying to mentally like get them into a thing that it's like, I could do this, like, and actually felt better than I thought I was gonna do, or whatever. And you're kind of keeping their brain from just looking at this like thing as like a big mountain. And I feel like chopping it up that way, just that's the art, is like mentally getting them to a space where they feel like they can really do some stuff.
I've talked about Ian Torrance a lot because he's one of my idols and role models. But one time we were on like an ultra training call with a bunch of our athletes, and he was kind of talking about that, like with tapers on the wind piece of like, we were talking about tapering for an ultra, and he was like, that's like the good time to like where, to be a coach and your athletes and like give them one of those things that they really like and they're really good at and that that they'll crush and get that win. So like that's kind of like what that flush workout is for me. It's like, and like what you're talking about, Dan, it's like just something that most people will do really great at, and it still helps us. And then it's like it's just positivity, and then we take that into the next one and hopefully build some momentum, because I think sometimes people are just beating up their athletes a little bit.
Yeah, and it just makes the build feel so much longer.
And I think that's like that for most coaches. That's kind of your default is to like kind of make it hard the whole time, especially if you come from a background where you trained hard. Like it's just like, well, it's going to be hard, and this is going to be 16 weeks where it's going to be miserable the whole time. And well, it doesn't have to be miserable the whole time. You can, you should have some breaks in there. So sometimes it's nice as a coach to even reset that in your own brain. Like, hey, we can do a session here that's going to be a little easier. It's not the end of the world. It's totally fine. I do love. Okay. I was gonna say I love setting it at a threshold pace, because that's like they're for sure gonna push it a little bit, and that even that in itself is the one like, oh yeah, I was running faster than my scheduled paces. It was awesome. Like I love that as well.
You just have to turn the legs over a little bit at threshold, and so, yeah, because like you said, one workout in one fell swoop, you could bury someone in a marathon block. So,
well, there are some times where you're like 4 to 8 weeks out when you're kind of putting in the big work, like, yeah, you can absolutely go over the edge pretty fast. And so having these little win sessions like that, and, so you don't want in one fell swoop, throw them over the edge. Yeah.
I don't read it, so I can't do that joke, but
your parents didn't read to you as a baby, so you don't get it.
Oh, they made me read. So
yeah, Danny's had him writing lines. He was up there. He was up there writing
Pokemon card stats and prices all the time.
We rename this to Three Fell Swoops.
3 Fell Swoops. That's a great name for a podcast. 3 Fell Swoops.
That's a lot of.
All right, Danny, do you have a unique or fun workout for us?
He did. I thought he told us, or was you just adding on?
Yeah, I was just adding on to yours.
Oh, okay. I thought it was yours. Never mind. Shoot.
And one fell swoop, you stole my thunder. I'm just kidding. That was bad. That was pretty bad. You can cut that part out.
That was not good.
That was terrible.
We're going to make that the promo clip, actually.
Yeah. Oh, great. So in high school, we did like a relay, like just a 200-meter relay with like teams, and we were just racing each other, which was really fun. We'd also just do some workouts where it was like a backstop to a backstop, and you're just doing it continuously, and you're just trying to see how many people you can catch. That was fun because it was just really not paced. It was very like, it was just very raw. You're just chasing. And, I felt like that was always really fun. A thing that I do with my clients is what I would call a 5-2-2 workout. So they'd be doing 3 sets of 5 minutes at tempo or threshold, and then 2 minutes jog, and then 2 by 2 minutes, like hard, like interval pace, and then 2 minutes in between. So everything is 2 minutes in between. Once they get into the second set of 5 minutes and the third set of 5 minutes, they have to back down to threshold. I like it just because of the pace change stuff. I like that I can do it at a park where there's just grass and you're just not really, you're going by effort, and you're just trying to make sure that, hey, when it's time to back off into the 5-minute one, like you have a little longer rep. So you have to be careful and all that stuff. And not super exciting, but I like it for cross country. I love it because it's like really simple. And I think the simplicity is like, I really am an advocate for simplicity and like not making the workouts so complicated that a person that's at a park, like a client, that they're like having to text you, beforehand, like, dude, what, like, can you explain this workout? Like, that part I don't like. I'm not a fan of the overcomplication of workout.
Like it's like 4 miles and then like a 700-meter jog and then 1 mile and then like an 800-meter jog and then like 2 miles and like another thing and then
an 800 all out or whatever.
Yeah, it's like, what is, like, how do I put all this together?
Well, the beautiful thing is the VDOT app connects to your watch, so you can just have your watch run through.
It'll walk you through step by step.
Dude, I just missed so many Will's some recommended things on my watch. But no, I like that one a lot just because, like I said, it's 5 minutes, like just tempo for 5 minutes, and then 2 minutes, like you're gonna be, you're gonna be kind of getting after it. But before you know it, like that 5 minute tempo is like your saving grace. And I always just tell people, like, just pay attention to that rest, man. It's not gonna feel like that much rest, like the further you get into it. And I love that one. That one's super fun for me, and it does get pretty brutal.
We used to do a fun session in college. It's similar to your backstop workout, which was, and I think they did this actually in running with the Buffaloes. It's 30-30s. So 30 seconds on hard, 30 seconds off for 20 minutes straight. It was a puke fest. Like people would get
What's the
flamed on that one.
famous Oregon one?
The 30-40.
30-40.
We did it, me and this old NAZ guy, one of the original ones, Eric Fernandez, who's like an Arkansas guy.
Oh yeah, I know.
Ben Rosario had us do a 35-45 workout. I think I made it like 3 laps, and I was like
45-45?
No, 35-45. We did Sedona. This is when I was like, I mean, none of us were good, but
oh yeah, I think I saw Fopple do that once too.
Yeah,
that'd be fun. I should do something like that.
I had a tough day. Eric, I think, got at least 2 miles in, but we just kept screwing up the 45 seconds. Like we would run 40, and then I was like, oh my god, dude.
It's a hard session to get that right. Like on the track, the 30-30s we did on a soccer field. It's like 30 seconds hard, 30 seconds easy, 30 seconds hard, 30 seconds easy. So there was no like pacing component to it, but on the track, like getting the rest 200 correct is like impossible. It's really hard to judge that. You have so little time to figure it out. It's so easy to go too fast, and if you do that, you just totally screw yourself for the next like couple of intervals.
Really bad. And I was like, dude, how the hell did Prefontaine do this? And then I was like, didn't like Galen Rupp did like 6 more laps than him? And I was like, oh man, I'm like, I don't even know what to think about this anymore.
I could do maybe like 600 meters of it right now.
Of 30-40?
Yeah.
I can't run a 30 right now.
I could do a 30, a 40, and maybe another 30, and then fall over.
I would definitely skeleton walk the second 30. I could probably do a 30 and a 40, and then like halfway through the second 30, it would be like absolutely game over.
Yeah, I'd walk off the track, I think.
Actually, that's not true. I ran 3 miles at 11-minute pace yesterday.
let's wait a few weeks. Let's get recovered, and then let's film ourselves attempting a 30-40 workout. Like get the phones out.
To pace me.
I will get some spikes on. I will go do as many as I'll have Sarah come film me. We'll do it, and we'll put some content up. So I think that'll be fun. Just totally humiliate ourselves.
On that note, my I rolled my ankle really, really bad. Super gnarly, and I did my second run yesterday with my partner who's 37 weeks pregnant, and like it's really most of the swelling's gone. I don't have that much range of motion in it, so I was like really limping, and then she's just like massive, so we just looked absolutely nuts right next to each other. I looked bad, dude. Like I was just like one of those like 80-year-old people who's just like,
people are probably asking her, like, are you okay, ma'am? Do we need to call somebody? Like, get this guy away from you. Yeah. You have a gimp next to you. What are you doing with this dude?
Yeah. Dude, those are cool, man. That was great. The avant-garde segment really hit.
Yeah. You guys were flaming me before in the pre-pod meeting. You didn't think it was going to hit. So screw you guys. All right, let's go to the next segment here. So our final segment of the day here, we're going to talk about racing in the marathon build. So Will, do you want to take this one away to start?
Yeah, we were just kind of throwing that around of like, and that's a super common question I get, and I'm sure you guys do. They're like, I literally got it Tuesday and made me think of it. I was like, oh, hey, should I sign up for a 10K or a half in this marathon build? This guy is running a marathon in May. And I guess was curious your guys' thoughts. I was going to say, oh, of course, but there are scenarios where I don't want someone to race. There are most of them where I do. So yeah, I guess we could start there, and I'll kind of go over what I do and see if you guys have anything different. Most of the time, I tell people getting a half 2 to 6 weeks out from your marathon is a really good idea. Sometimes it could be longer. Why I say 2 to 6 is because, Nick, why are you smirking?
Just noticed the logo in the corner. Sorry.
Yeah,
Is that funny?
Like, damn, dude.
That's funny, right?
It's funny. Keep going.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. If you're not watching, I guess Nick made a Three Fell Swope.
I didn't make anything. Don't put this on me. I don't do this AI garbage that you do. This is 100% Will. Anyways, go to the YouTube, watch the podcast there. You can see this stupid
Professional graphic design.
Anyways, Will, please go ahead.
Why I usually say 2 to 6, and I think sometimes people are like, well, couldn't I do it 8 or 10 or 12? Selfishly, I want you to get fitter. Like if we do it 10, often we're really in the meat of it, and it may not be as fast as if we're in the end and we've done a lot of the work, and maybe we just have more fitness, then we'll probably run faster and builds confidence. You got to be careful, because if you don't think the person's ready to race, sometimes it can, or if they're really in the heart of training and they don't do well with that, they could go out and run poorly and kind of frazzle themselves. And so that's something I'm kind of keeping an eye on, like 2. So I usually say 2 to 6, but also you can't perfect that sometimes. Like we're just limited on what races we have around and available. I usually say a half, because it's great to practice marathon pace. We can practice some fueling. We can do a big warm up and cool down and make it into a long run and really go over our fueling strategy. For a lot of people, it's just really good to go through the art of racing, like getting up, getting your shoes on, taking gels. Like I think it's something we can all forget sometimes, of like what it's like, or our bathroom timing. And so it's really helpful to have a practice of that. And I tell people, like, if there is 5Ks and 10Ks that you like along the way, like we can work those into the schedule, because the same thing, like some people really need that practice of racing. Now, some people who, we get those people who like, they race 6 marathons a year, and then they come to me and I'm like, you don't need to do we need to train. Like we need to like run some fast stuff. You've run 1,000,000 marathons and 1,000,000 halves. I don't really care if you run a race in this block. I'd rather not take anything away from training. But some people, come to me and they don't have as robust of a racing history. And so I really want to sneak those in. But yeah, I think sometimes people are surprised, like, of how close we can get to the race. Like we were just talking about this, like my marathon PR, I ran a half 2 weeks before and it went really well. That gave me confidence. Ran the first little bit marathon pace and then cut down last maybe 3-4. Felt super good. Gave me confidence going in. But Nick, you were saying you ran like a 5K.
I ran a hard 5K the week, like 7 days out from my marathon PR. Yeah.
What was the reasoning timing?
I wanted to make a little money, and so there was some cash available at this 5K. Hence why I did it. But I don't know. I don't know if there was a specific reason to it. I wanted to go race, and 5K wouldn't take a ton out of me, and it was local, and so I went and did it. And I ran
that was just like the last little workout before.
Yeah, last like hard thing I did, and then I did a little tiny session midweek, and that was it. But there was like no residual fatigue. The risk about racing something that short, that close, is you could get hurt if you're not used to running that kind of intensity. So probably wouldn't be my recommendation for folks. But I don't think I think with my athletes, I'm always like, really anything 5K, 10K, please. And within 2 weeks, absolutely, let's race. Not as much as you want, but let's absolutely get out there and race, to practice the morning stuff, practice being in that competitive environment, practice focusing on yourself around a bunch of other people, all that stuff. And then it's just good to run fast on tired legs. And if we're doing that with like 5 weeks to go to the marathon, we're tired. Like, yeah, let's go run a hard 10K and just be in that zone of running hard while fatigued. I love that. Not everybody, it's a great fit, because they maybe get in their head with bad race results, like you said. But for the folks who can kind of go through that stuff, I think it's great practice, and it's a good thing to do.
I agree. I like about a month to 5 weeks out. This weekend I had 3 athletes do it, and they had good experiences. I think like a big important component is, like you said, practicing the fueling, practicing running hard, practicing like the race prep, like that literal race prep. Like, what time are you waking up? Are you gonna go to the bathroom? Like, are you eating, beforehand, all that stuff? Are you keeping, an eye on just like the time? What I've noticed is a lot of marathons and maybe even like 5Ks and 10Ks, like they tend to be really festive. So, it's like a party. So I feel like it's easy to kind of lose track of what you need to be doing. Um, and I think in terms of the success, like there needs to be like perspective in terms of what the goal is for the race. So if it's like a 5 or 10K, I'm probably telling them like, just see how hard you can run. Like, it's fine. Like, it's a 10K, you're going to be fine later. You're already strong. We've already been doing all this like marathon work. Like the 10Ks, I mean, the risk of getting hurt in the build, they're doing a lot of fast stuff. So there's like enough fast stuff that they're probably not going to. And again, beforehand, like there's already a race expectation, like in terms of what they might expect in terms of the time or in terms of how they might feel. I think when there's like a plan in place that is not going to tell them like, man, you could have run like so much better if only you tried harder, or you had such a bad day because you're not fit. I think those things can be misconstrued if we're not talking to them beforehand. Like, well, look, this is what the plan is. One of my athletes, I told her, you're going to run based on what your goal is. Like, you're going to run 9-minute pace for a bit, and then the last 5K, you're just going to see what you can do, and kind of you're going to be expecting to be rolling through traffic. So that's the expectation. Like, you're going to be sort of spurting around, but you are fast. You'll be able to pace change that way, and it'll be okay. Like, just don't panic. There's going to be a lot of people, and with the exception of like the first mile, I think she was just like around a lot of people. She ended up averaging probably like 8:46, and her last 3 miles were under 8-minute pace, and she was like rolling, and she felt great and all this stuff. And but I think having that already like pre-race expectation of like, this is what the plan is, like I just need you to adhere to it. I think it takes a lot of the, what does my half marathon time mean? Like, does this mean I'm fit? Does it mean I'm not? It's more of, now it was like, I executed the plan you asked me to execute. I feel really good about that. Like, she was so happy that, I told her, this is what I think you can do, and she like surpassed it, and she felt great. So I was like, okay, like let's chalk it up to a win, and yeah, I think the timing is good. I think that having a pre-race expectation or a plan, it's like, hey, this is what I need you to focus on, like execute the thing I'm asking you to execute. And I think I think the time will take care of itself. And I think when they're focused on that, I think it gives them a lot more perspective about like how to interpret the result.
I'll ask this question just because I've thought about this when folks ask me if they can do a race, particularly when it's in like that 3 to 5 weeks to go, when we're kind of hitting our like big peak sessions, particularly when it comes to like a marathon buildup. Like, are there scenarios in which you would not want them to race? Like personally, like for like a half, like I think I'd rather have them do it in an earlier portion of the buildup rather than like in like the key core portion when we're trying to hit our best long runs or do our most volume, just because the half doesn't always have specificity. Sometimes, depending on the race, like they're not going to be able to warm up for it or do like a long cool down. So we're not getting the volume out of it that maybe I would like to get in that period of time. Do you ever, how do you approach that? Because I'll never like, hey, I want to do this half marathon 4 weeks out. Great, let's do it. But in my head, I'm like, I think I would rather have us do a really big session instead of trying to like work around this half marathon that maybe or maybe not they're going to be able to make into like a true long run, or have it get the benefit that I think they would get out of something else.
I had a couple last year that I don't know if vetoed's the right word, but I was like, really think this is a bad idea, and I think I ended up vetoing it. But in those scenarios, the last couple races we did, we just for whatever reason weren't able to like execute our plan. And for some people can really seamlessly, I'll like write a workout as the half marathon, and they'll go do that. and so we'll get what we want out of it, like kind of like what Danny was saying. But we had tried that a couple times and it hadn't gone. And like, like you're saying, Nick, like you don't want to waste one of these big, important long runs. And I was like, no, I want to control the variables and have rest periods and like get some true threshold work and, be able to have breaks so that we can chunk it up and like actually kind of get a win out of this. Or like it depends on how the block's going. Sometimes like we've had a couple bad long runs or something and like we've missed some of the big, what feels like important stuff. And you're like, I don't want to risk this on a race. So it, depends on the history, and how the block's going. But I definitely have, like I said, like there's some people who like are so fresh that every race, it seems like they take these massive jumps forward in the experience. And so I'm just pushing them into anything. But there's some people that like, especially if you're a chronic racer, people get to a point where racing is like kind of casual. Like you go out and you get a bib and then you jog through the city. And for some people, I want to take the races away from them so it becomes more of an event and experience again of like a little more effort. And so, yeah, I've definitely vetoed some before.
I haven't vetoed anything yet. That being said, if somebody is asking me to do something and I'm looking at the timeline and I'm like, you're probably going to cut out like a big mileage day. I guess my question, well, I'd probably tell them like, well, I can offer you an alternative. I know that you might want to do this race, but we can do it. And again, it's like, I will set the expectation of like, okay, you're going to do this, but this is how you were going to do it. And I think my question would be, if we're worried about, if we're trying to replicate like what race day is going to look like is there a chance that they don't get the warm up they want anyways, like on marathon day, because they might be in like a wave or they might be like waiting there for like a long time? I don't know, like would the flexibility, like would doing the half there and maybe not getting the warm up they want, like would that also be practicing kind of like what to expect on race day anyways, or does it not?
No, yeah, sometimes definitely.
But I guess as I asked that question, I'm kind of thinking like, well, if that day though of the half, the mileage is probably more important than the race prep, then I don't know. It just depends. Like I feel like I would. It depends on the person, depends on the race, depends on whether like what their goal is going into it. So
I think the race too, Danny mentioned, that is important. Like what race is it? Is it the bubble run half marathon where people are just frolicking around in bubbles for 13 miles in 4 hours? Is it something that's more serious and competitive? Is it like a straight downhill half? Is it a really hard course? Like that variable, I think, is also like very important, is going to inform like, hey, like, okay, let's do this, or hey, like maybe not this one, maybe we push this off for another period of time too, just because there is such a wide variety in the types of races that are out there, especially if you're in a big place like Los Angeles. Like the variety of races are literally, you will have bubble run halves and you will have some crazy downhill races and everything in between. I think it's important to remember.
That's so true, man.
Yeah, I mean, the benefit of LA is just there's something everywhere. I'm in the Sangarilla Valley, and I was looking up 5K races for one of my athletes, and I'm like, dude, you have your pick, man. Like I don't like they're just everywhere. Where do you want to go? Like, you want to go somewhere close? Like there's this one, there's like 4 around her that weekend. I'm like, just pick one, man. Like it's fine, and we'll figure it out. We'll figure out the details later. But yeah, I think for marathon builds though, I probably get a little more specific, and I get a little more like, well, let me offer you an alternative, and this is why I'm offering you this alternative. Like this is where this kind of falls in line with how many weeks you have left, and sometimes like they don't look at how many weeks there are left like I would, so they're just not counting, and I'm like, you actually have like you got like maybe 6 sessions left like before, and you got maybe 4 long runs left. I'm like, I think you'd want to turn it into a long run versus a half marathon or whatever. And if we do a half, I'm like, then we have to really like constrict the conditions. Like we have to really control like what you're going to do out there. You might get tempted, but dude, I mean, it's just the goal is LA, the goal is Boston, the goal is Eugene. Like that's what we're trying to get to. So don't lose sight of it. And just, yeah, I try to offer them an alternative and perspective about it.
Well, anything else you have to add to this one?
Other than the that's the dude. Look at that mustache. I look like oh my god.
Can we pull this up on the screen? This is like really good.
It's in the corner. If you're watching the podcast on YouTube, it pops up.
Can I share it?
Sure, please share it for the YouTube audience.
Well, I feel like if we could look at it and go over it, like it might add something.
Well, this is great audio content here, so I guess I'll vamp for a little bit while Will tries to pull this up onto the screen. Danny, when you were competing, what were you racing a lot, like prior to like a marathon buildup, or were you just kind of going straight into it without a lot of racing happening?
Can you guys see this?
Yeah.
Yes, I can see that.
What do you guys think?
It is. Yep, that's me right there. As a Muppet, I'm basically Ernie with the Ernie. Yeah, Ernie with the mustache.
I mean, I don't know. Is it like really good or accurate or?
I think honestly, me and Danny are pretty good, and Will, yours could use a little work. But
what do you mean? That's a handsome guy. He's bearded. That's pretty good. I don't know. It's my first time doing this.
Oh boy.
All right. Well, I think we can just skip past that question, Danny, since Will.
I did race often. I got worked over by you guys all the time. That's what happened. I tried to do Ks at Flagstaff High School. That went bust. Yeah, no, I was a big tempo guy, big long run emphasis guy, and yeah, not a lot of like. I just didn't think about training blocks the same way. Like if I was coaching myself now, I give myself a lot of 200s and. Just I don't know. I'd contact Will again for coaching is what I would do.
Well, for Three Fell Swoops, this is Will Baldwin.
All right. Any final points from anybody before we get out of this freaking circus? Will,
make sure your easy runs are easy. Talk to your coach about racing a half marathon well before your marathon. And if you guys like those avant-garde workouts or whatever we're calling them, try them sometime.
Let us know what you think of the new logo and potential pod name. Should we do merch for all our swoopies out there?
Swoops.
I'm not doing that.
Just having the swoopies is I'm on board. We're changing the name. We are now the Three Fell Swoops. We're going with the
there it is.
Well, we can wait another 4 months or whatever before we do this again.
All right. Well, I think that's going to do it for this episode of the Three Fell Swoops podcasts. Please follow us on Instagram at Mind Your Miles. Check us out there. We've got content popping up. You can find us on Substack at the Mind Your Miles Substack. We do have newsletters going out now. I'll have them coming out with the release of this. Check us out on YouTube. We have tons of content going up on YouTube. I'm even posting YouTube content. Will's always got new content coming out. We're going to get Danny on some YouTubes here shortly. Wait for our 30-40 video coming out in the next month where we go to a track and embarrass ourselves. It's going to be a ton of fun.
Just you guys wait till I read this book. It's over.
Questions or topics for the pod, please email us, mindyourmilespod@gmail.com, or just comment on our Instagram or Substack pages. Please come find us, or comment on Spotify. We also see that as well, too. On behalf of Mr. Danny Mercado, Will Baldwin, my name is Nick Hilton. This has been the Three Fell Swoops Mind Your Miles podcast, and we will see you next time.